Here's a photograph I took yesterday while driving along the highway. I looked up and I saw this cloud burst just about at sunset. I said, let me take a picture of that. Because, not that the photograph is worth anything, but I'd like to create that effect in Photoshop. And with the sun rays here. I think that's interesting. So, I think I've come up with a technique, and I think I'll share that with you. I've got a picture here of some clouds I took last year. And in this picture here, I've already predetermined that I want the sun rays to be coming right about through this area right here. And the way how I'm going to accomplish this is I'm going to have to make a selection to separate this photograph right in half. So I'm going to take my lasso tool and I'm going to come down through here like so, all the way around and back to the beginning again. And now I've got a selection that divides the photograph just about in half. And what I'm going to eventually attempt to do is have the sun rays coming right from through this area. But first, what I need to do is I need to feather this pretty heavily. So I'm going to select Modify and Feather, and I think about a 20 pixel feather would do just about right. Now what I need to do is put this selection up on its own layer, and the way I'll do that is Control J, hold down Control while hitting J, and that puts a copy of the selection above the background layer. There's our selection. Okay, let's hide this background copy selection layer just for a moment and create a new layer just above the background. And in this layer, I'm going to go grab the marquee tool and just make a rectangular selection right just about right in the middle there. And I'm going to go up to Edit, Fill. I'm going to fill this selection with a 50% gray and deselect. Hit Control D to deselect it. Go up to Filter, Render, Fibers, and that looks good. Variance of 12, strength of 10, good. Alright. Now I'm going to need to blur this slightly. Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, 1.2 is good. I need to blur this again, but this time with the motion blur, and I've got a angle of 90 degrees, and let's see the distance. That looks just about right there, of 430. Now I need to transform this this sandwich layer. So I hit Control T to bring up the transform tool. Now what I'll do is hold down Control, Alt, and Shift at the same time and grab this bounding box point right up here and drag it in like so. Now just come outside the bounding box. You see the cursor turns to 2 arrows, and I'm just going to turn this slightly like so. And let's see, I'll bring it right back down to here for the time being, and hit Enter for OK. Now what I'll do is, now that I've got my sun rays, I'll bring back this selection copy that we did prior. And now you can begin to see how I've created the sun rays. We need to do some work further, but I can manipulate this layer like so. And just drag it around, place it anywhere that I want to, and that looks good right there. How's that? Looks good? Looks good to me. Now, there's a couple of options you can go from here, but what I usually like to do is I like to these edges are too sharp and too defined, and the way I smooth these edges out is I create a layer mask on the Sunbeam layer, and there's my let me bring this in here. Here's my mask. Using my default colors, black is the foreground, I go into the gradient tool, and using the transparent foreground to transparent, hit OK. Now on this layer mask, now what I can do is begin to smooth out these edges just slightly. Let me bring this over here. And there we got it. There's our sunbeams coming right through the clouds. One other option we could possibly do at this particular point, we're done right about now, but here's another option, go down to the blending layers and create an outer glow. There's the default settings. I think the opacity is just a little too much, so I'll lower the opacity down here. That looks good. I'll hit OK, and I'll change this layer now from normal to soft light, and there we have our sunbeams. Here's the before, and here's the after, and that's it. Thank you.